watching me from in the comment. So just a little bit of backstory. If this is your first time watching me on live, again, my name is Sean, aka the Savvy Business Chick, the original home care business mentor. And back in 2006, I started a home care business from the bottom and built my home care business to over seven figures within 2 years. Now, I did not do this alone. I did this with the help of God, with the help of a mentor. And that's why I have a mentorship program, because I believe in mentors, because a mentor really helped me to rapidly grow my business in addition to my faith in God. And God definitely blessed me to with a background in international business. Yes, I do have. I'm probably one of the rare people who do have a degree in business, but I will tell you that business school did not prepare me for being an entrepreneur. But thankfully, my mentor did. She gave me the tools that I needed to start and grow my business. So, what I like to do strategically is to go through different states and give you guys the step by step of how to start and grow this kind of business. Why? Because I always say that the home care industry is a tight-lipped industry. That means a lot of people aren't talking. And then if you were to go look this stuff up um, on Google, if you were to do a Google search, first of all, I know for sure if you were to go do a Google search about how to start a home care business in the state of Indiana, you will probably find a lot of mixed information. And that's what most people, when they come to me, they're like super confused because, when we search for things, we search for things by a familiar name, right? We're going to search for things. We're going to say how to start a home care business in Indiana. But guess what? In Indiana, a non-medical home care business is actually called a personal service agency. So it's a PSA, and that's the actual type of agency that you would start. And that's the kind of license we're going to be talking about this evening. So if you are in the Indiana area, um, I want you to let me know. Put it in the comments. Remember, if I'm looking right here, I'm talking to you on TikTok. And if I'm looking up here, I'm talking to you on YouTube or LinkedIn. And just let me know if you are in the Indiana area. If not, invite someone who may be interested in this information, because guess what? This is a relatively easy state, in my opinion, to start a home care business. And I'm going to go over why. Actually, I'm going to go over, let's see, I'm going to go over the application first. Let me see. And then some of the tips. I'm going to have a couple of screens up. Where is that application? And usually I like to do stuff like this, like on a Zoom or something like that, so I can share my screen. But it's not letting, I don't know how to do that yet on here. So what I just did with this. Okay. Let me go over some of the basics. Like we literally spoke to someone in the Indiana licensing department about 3 weeks ago. So like this video is well overdue because I really meant to give you guys this information over 3 weeks ago. And I spoke with a lady by the name of Miss Bobby, and she's in the office. And one thing that I usually like to tell you guys in some of my posts is how long is the processing period. And the processing time for Indiana, it would be shorter. It would be, along the lines of like a, what you call it, like a 3 month, but it's really right now at about 4 to 6 months because they are currently backlogged. And she shared with me that they're currently backlogged. And about 2-3 weeks ago, when we spoke to them, she was the only one in the office. And that's really important to know, because some people, if you choose to submit your application with without help, like if you choose to do it on your own, you probably want to know, like, well, how long is this process going to take? So if it takes longer than 6 months, then that means you have definitely ran into several challenges with your application. And just know that when you are submitting your application, it's important to get things right the first time. Will they allow you to make some corrections? Absolutely. But they even have it here on the website. And let me see if I can pull this back up, where if they give you like a limit to the amount of corrections that you can make. And once you reach that, guys, then they can absolutely require that you just submit your application all over again. And wait a minute. I definitely thought I closed a lot of these screens before I got started. So let me close some more, because I'm still not looking at the application. If you guys are following me, you hear me good, give me drop an emoji, please. Let me just get back to here. So the licensing processing time is anywhere from 4 to 6 months. Now, the application fee is pretty reasonable. It's $250 for the application fee. And one thing I want to clarify for those who don't know is that there are states that are regulated, meaning there are regulations / rules that you must abide by in regards to operating a home care business. And remember, we said that in this state, it's considered it's called a personal service agency. There are several states, and I'm probably going to do that next week. There are several states where if you're doing a non-medical home care agency only, you do not have to get licensed. And it's a pretty interesting thing, but literally all you have to do is complete your business registration, meaning register your business as an LLC or an INC. So, but with Indiana, you do have to complete the application. The application is on, it's called State Form number 53391. And I'm just quoting this for the reference. You have to complete the entire application before submitting. They will not accept an incomplete application. And then this is important because some states will allow you to submit the application and then submit your supporting documents afterwards. I call that, there are several states that have a Part A and a Part B. Like, here's an example. I have 2 mentees right now that we're trying to get them licensed in the state of Virginia, right? And so Virginia has a Part A, which is submit your application, submit your business registration. Of course, they want that application fee and your insurance documents. And then after they approve that, and then they also have a business plan, then they will accept the first part of your application, and then you can move on. But with Indiana, they're saying they want everything up front. They want to review everything up front. So they're saying you must complete this application and you have to submit it They do not have a way to submit. I do want to point that out. A lot of states are going or have an online portal. Indiana does not. They do not have an online portal for you to submit your application. So you're literally going to be printing out your application, attaching your supporting documents, and your application fee is going to be, of course, your license fee is non-refundable, and it is $250, as I stated. If you guys are asking me questions, I'm just looking. Does it cost to update the business address in Illinois? I'm not understanding your question. We're talking about Indiana. So your licensing fee, they want it in a check, cashier's check, or money order. So they wanted the traditional way because they don't have an online portal. They want you to submit it, with your paper application, and then you're going to mail the entire application to the Indiana Department of Health. I was told by the licensing officer that if you are in the area, for example, this office is in Indianapolis, you can drop off your documents with payments. There's a lot of states that used to do that, allow you to drop it off, because maybe you want to confirm that someone received it. So because they do not have an online portal, they will allow you to drop it off. Now, just in case you're looking for the address, usually what I do after I do these kind of lives where I'm going step by step over a state, I usually take the same video. I publish it on one of my portals, and I give you guys all of the forms that are associated with what I'm going over tonight. And it's for like a nominal fee. Like basically, because it's on a portal, they make me have to put something. It's like $1 or $2. And, a lot of times they'll just say, pay what you want. It's almost like giving me a tip. So if you're like, well, I can't see the forms you're talking about, don't worry. This video, the regulations, the application, and even a checklist will all be uploaded no later than Friday to that portal. And then you can just go to the link in my bio to find that information. So that's going to include where you're going to be. Where would you mail this application? So it says if you're going to drop off the application at the front desk, you're going to have to make sure that the address is made to the attention of the cashier's office. So again, you can drop it off. And honestly, if you don't want to wait for me to, publish this and then get all of the documents and resources in one place, then you can just listen to this information and follow it to a T. So this is good information that this is the initial license, right? And after initial license, it's very customary in a lot of states that your license will expire within 1 year. Now, some states, your license may, sorry, a call has come through. Some states, your license may expire within 2 years. Like I know California, they give you a two-year application license period. So you're going to have to renew your application or renew your license to operate your personal service agency within a year of getting approved. And pretty much, I like to tell people you're going through the process almost all over again, except for you're not really needing to submit the policies and procedures all over again because those are approved during your initial application submission. But it's important for me to bring up that you need to be mindful of the renewal process and to, like, if you were to get approved March 31st, then you should be submitting your application for renewal for 2025 in January. You should be doing it at least 60 days in advance. I had a young lady that I had to assist. She was in much distress. She was in the state of Pennsylvania, and unfortunately, she paid everybody to do things for her, right? To include her license. And so she didn't understand that she had to renew her license not the month of its expiration, but as it states, and a lot of times it states in the regulations, 60 days before it expires. Long story short, they didn't get her information in time. It expired. And guess what? If you're familiar with Pennsylvania, they have these MCOs. Not only did her license expire, she had to discharge her clients. She lost her Medicaid MCO contracts. And so she had to literally start all over, all because she didn't renew her license, $100 fee, and in this case, a $250 fee in advance. So in my home care licensing program, where I do a one-on-one mentorship with someone who is at the beginning of starting their business, I overly stress that. I was like, don't just let me or someone on my team complete your application. Let me show you how to do it. Let me Mr. Miyagi you. Let me show you how to do it. This will be different in the renewal process versus in the initial process. So just keep that in mind if you end up doing it yourself. Now, sometimes I get people who may buy a personal service agency, and you would have to complete a separate form for that. If you have purchased one, you do have to let the state know that there is a change of ownership, and that you would need to process that at least 30 days prior to that purchase of the business. Okay, so we're going to get into the application, and I want to try to show you guys what that looks like. Sure, I'll let you know. Now I can probably show you a little bit for those of you who are on TikTok, and I'm going to try to also see how I can share my screen for those of you. Let me see. Can I share my screen? Okay, maybe here. All right, so it's gonna let me know. This is my first time doing this, guys, so bear with me, but I want you to see the application. I really like for you, if you can see the application, let me know. If you can see the application, let me know. I love to show the application and what things look like. Why? I don't want you to be intimidated by these things, right? So this is the application for how to operate a personal service agency. Okay, so here you would select new agency. Of course, I just talked about if you were to purchase one, you would put in a change of ownership. All right, very simple. Section A is, you're putting in the name of the agency, the address. One of the things that we do when we contact the state is we ask them very practical questions. This is why I am the Savvy Business Chick. I ask questions that are very practical. And that practical question is, can I start a home care business, or in this case, personal service business with a home office? And the answer is yes. Okay. So you do not have to go out and buy, an office space. You could use a home office. Save your money initially. This was state, we're talking about Indiana. Okay. So your office hours, they want you to put your office hours here. Your mailing address, only if that's different. Then you have your, what you call it, they want to know about the owner, or owners. Then you can put your EIN number. Like I said, it's very simple. Now, they understand that the owner could be different from the agency manager. So this manager, in some states, it's called administrator, but in Indiana, it's called agency manager. Then they're giving you the codes here, meaning this is the requirements. And I can show you guys that in a second. These are requirements for an alternate agency manager. Now, usually, why would you want an alternate manager? Let's say you are the owner and you are the agency manager, or as they say, manager, and you go out of town to Miami, right? But you're not just there at the beach, right? You go out of town to Miami and you're at a home care conference, right? Well, who's there operating the business? They want someone who is assigned as a responsible person. And a lot of states do this. So it is very customary to have an agency manager. And basically, you have to usually put that in writing, and that person has the authority to make important decisions. If you guys have any questions, if I'm going too slow or if I'm going too fast, please let me know. And if this is helping you out, let me know. Again, if there are multiple owners, they want to know that person's information. Here, they want to know if it's for profit, what kind of corporation is it? If it's nonprofit, if it's a government operated agency. Again, information on the owners, directors, partners, managing agents, managing employees. Change of ownership, they want to know what type, what was the reason. And then you have like just statements of certification, owners, the president's signature, the personal service agency manager signature. If it's different, it could be different. They basically want you to put that there. Remember, you're going to pay a $250 fee to the Indiana State Department. And actually, if you can see, that's the address. Now, here is where we get into the actual requirements, right? And they're listed on the application. But in a sense, we're done with the application, right? So the application is 3 to 5 pages. But essentially, we're done with the application. These other things are just like a checklist. But remember, you have to submit everything all together. Okay, that's not on this checklist. So let's go over that. These are the policies and procedures that you need to submit. And Indiana has gone so far as to say, don't just copy and paste. Look, it says provide a detailed procedure. So remember, I always tell you guys, can you start a home care business or personal service agency on your own? Absolutely. But when it comes to the policies and procedures, please get some help. And please get some expert help. So let's just read this real quick. Submit the policies, procedures, and documentations required as defined by here. So they're basically saying this is your guide, which is the personal service agency regs, right? And they kind of give you, okay, so the first one is unstable health conditions, right? And we'll pull up what that says. Client satisfaction review. That's pretty standard if you've ever heard of quality assurance policies. Complaint investigation. That's pretty standard with most home care agencies, that they want you to identify how someone can submit a complaint and how you will address a complaint. Thank you so much for the hearts, and thank you so much, guys, for those of you who are watching. Again, let me know if I'm going too slow or if I'm going too fast. And because this is free information, please give me a free like or hearts as I'm trying to help, bring some information, like I said, to this tight-lipped community, right? So yeah, thank you for the hearts, because it helps me on my stream. Tuberculosis test. This is pretty standard. They want you to submit a policy procedure of how, and this is more so for your staff, how you would have them complete a TB test. Usually it's before they start to work. Compliance and documentation, meaning that your agency would be in compliance with, the state licenses, regulatory policies. The job description of their day-to-day operations, training and policies, how policy procedures, how you will train your employees. This is probably one of the more detailed policies. How you're going to train your employees, how you're going to reevaluate their training, how you're going to observe them, giving them a competency test, and making sure that they do this. They're able to do this without direct supervision. This is really, this seems a lot more complicated, but really they want to know, like, that you feel comfortable sending your caregiver, your worker, to someone's home without any supervision. Because remember, home care, the supervisor's not there. We're trusting these people to, handle with care the individual that they're caring for. And so what the state is basically saying, we want to see how you screen that person. A service plan, a copy of the agency service plan. That's the plan that you come up with for the client. Your client's rights statement. That's pretty standard. Then this is where the policies end. Now I'll say this is 9-10 sections, right? Have you guys heard me say you usually have licensure policies, but then you also need operational policies? Yeah, so this is what they're requiring with your application. Now, can you get away with just having these? Absolutely. But when it comes to operating your business, you're going to definitely need those additional policies to help you with operating your business. And then because these policies are pretty standard, some people are pretty surprised when they get to trying to get credentialed with Medicaid, that Medicaid is going to require more. All right. They want you, the other additional documents that they want you to submit are your Secretary of State document, meaning they want you to show that your business is registered. They want a copy of your IRS document that reflects your EIN number. And they want the applicant, which is the owner or agency manager, to submit a criminal background check that's no older than 3 months old. They said lifetime expanded national criminal history of, these are the people that have to submit a criminal background check: the manager, agency manager, officers, and owners. So they want everybody that's involved, right? And then they want to make sure that they're clear of this. Now, let me stop sharing. You guys know I had a mentee who had a criminal background. She had a criminal record. And she would not have qualified for the requirements as a owner to operate her home care business. So she had to put it in a family member's name. So you guys know, you may ask me, can I start this home care business if I have a record? Some states, yes. Some other states, no. And this is one of those states where even if you're listed as a owner, you might need to have somebody else put it in their name, and then you have like some kind of separate agreement, right? Or partnership or something like that. Now, I'm not telling you to do anything that's shiesty or without integrity, but if you have a record, but you genuinely want to open up this personal service agency and run this kind of business, you are going to need to put it in somebody else's name. Did that help anybody? Thank you so much for the hearts. Okay. I want to show you guys something else. Okay, so those are the licensing requirements. Again, they don't want you repeating your inquiries. Like, they don't want you submitting an application and then they tell you, oh, well, we're missing this. And then you say, okay, I'll just send that. Because then you are actually going against that. You were supposed to submit everything all together, and they can now reject the whole application and then make you wait a certain period of time for you to resubmit. And you don't want to have to go through that, especially as in my opinion, as easy as this license is. So you want to submit all the documents as requested, pay the licensing fee, and oh, here's something that's really big, and I almost forgot. Connecticut is like this too. Because it's a personal service agency, which is non-medical, right? And Indiana does have a home health agency license. You cannot use home health agency in your business name. You can't use the word health or nursing as a part of your agency's name. I want to repeat that again. In the state of Indiana, if you're starting this personal service agency, and let's say you already chose a name and you got it registered, you would literally have to get a DBA, which is a doing business as, and to comply with the state's requirement that a personal service agency can't say, I'm a home health agency. Why? They feel like it's deceiving. They can't use the word health. You can use the word home care, but you can't use the word healthcare. And you definitely can't use the word home healthcare, or, and then they don't want you to use the word nursing because, because that is deceiving when you're a personal service agency. A lot of people ask me this question: can I have a virtual office? This is something that's pretty standard. Your agency must have a physical location within the state of Indiana. You can utilize a home. You can have a home office and a residence for your agency, but they won't allow you to have a virtual office. A lot of people say, but what if I don't want people to know my address? Tough. It's tough because you're running a business. And I know for the first part, you're trying to save some money, right? Because you don't want to get this commercial office and then wait up to 6 months before you can actually start doing business. So just chalk it up and use your home office address. And look, I did it. I even showed you guys earlier this week where I just so happened to be in the neighborhood of the only home office location that I had when I first got started in 2006, right? And then we moved to an office space. Of course, never went back to a home office. Pretty much could, especially during COVID when everybody's working from home. But with that being said, you don't have to put on anything, as they say, put on airs for anybody. Start with that home office. Take advantage of the office hours, give people instructions of what door or what entrance they can use for your home office, and treat it like an office. Respect that space, set it up, even if it's just one desk, one chair, and a file cabinet. You can do it. I want to go over something regarding the training before I share with you guys some popular cities that you would do really well in if you're in Indiana. Again, I want to reiterate that this is a checklist that was sent to me by the woman I spoke to in the state of Indiana, and I'm going to put that amongst the document, so I can't go through all of it. It's basically like an 8-page checklist, so you'll be able to just access that. But I do want to reiterate, not only can you not put the word home health agency or health or nursing, but you can't advertise that you are a home health agency or the word health or nursing. You can't advertise it. So they're really, really big on that. But there's plenty of ways to advertise your personal service agency because it's non-medical. So of course you would do the personal care. You can do end of life care. It's a lot of things that you can do with a personal service agency. They don't want you to use medical language in your policies and procedures. So when, if you are a nurse and you're starting this kind of agency, just be mindful if you don't get help with the policy procedures to not use medical language, medical terms. They specifically say here, don't, this is in a checklist I'm reading, don't send your agency's handbook as policies and procedures. Submit policies and procedures that are according to the state statute of IC 16-27-4. You guys know I've told you that I've had plenty of people go on Fiverr or purchase policies and procedures that are not home care related, and they ended up submitting to the state an employee handbook, and they're clearly saying up here they're not going to accept it. It says general policies that are not specific to the state code will be rejected. Do not submit your policies in a binder or folder. Do not enclose policies in a sleeve. Do not staple pages together. They want it to be, and don't even submit it with paper clips. So they're like being really, really specific. I guess what she sent me is how they review it. When you submit your policies, you should submit it in the order that you want it to be reviewed, because the state will not rearrange your policies and procedures. Basically, make it easy for them. Of course, it would be good if you use like a table of content, make it easy for them to be able to find your information. And then when you get this checklist, you will be able to understand what the 9 to 10 different policies for unstable health conditions, client satisfaction review, complaint. This state actually gives you a little bit more detail of what they're looking for, unlike some states. So I do like that. That's why I said I'm finding them to be rather easy. So hopefully me going over that didn't bore you guys. Let me show you one other thing. So that's the application. We'll make sure that the application is in the portal when we publish this video. Here's something I wanted to show you guys, and I'm going to share my screen again. You know how you guys are always telling me, oh, I don't know if I should start a home care agency in my state. It seems so overcrowded. Now look at this. I'm going to share my screen. Thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate it. You guys are helping me to spread the word. More people can get this free information and get more accurate advice on starting a business. Thank you so much. Okay, so you know how you guys, I'm going to share this. You know how you guys are always like, oh, my state is so overcrowded. It seems like it's home care agencies or personal service care agencies everywhere. Now, this is on the state's website. And okay, Woman Investor, can you have an office space at Regus? Because they offer virtual and office spaces too. You can. You don't have to. They don't want a virtual. They want a physical location. So, guys, I'm just going to randomly choose like a county. You see, it's only one home care or personal service agency listed in that county. Then it even shows you that agency doesn't have Medicaid, right? They're just probably doing private pay. Again, I'm going to do another random. Okay, it's 2 in this area. So sometimes when people, maybe you guys not seeing this on TikTok. Sometimes when people say, oh, that area is so overcrowded, like it's not even 2 agencies. And this was updated on January. Sorry, you may not still not seeing it. This was updated on January the 25th. I'm going to do one more. So this is pretty random. Nope, no agencies in Jennings County. And again, 2 in Jackson County. If you guys, yeah, I'm sorry you couldn't see it. I apologize. I had to actually move it. I apologize. Okay. So I wanted to show that to you. And now I'm going to go over some of the top locations in Indiana where your home care business or your personal service agency business will do really well. Now, whenever I go over a state, I usually go over this statistic, and then I'll if it's like 12 cities that are like really, really popular, then I might choose 3 and like really break it down to showing you what the population looks like. So, I'm actually going to just share my screen again. Okay. So, all right. So as you can see, Anderson, Bloomington, Carmel, Columbus, Elkhart, Evansville, Fishers, Fort Wayne, Gary, Greenwood, Hammond, Indianapolis, of course, Jefferson, Kokomo, Lafayette, Lawrence, Mishawaka, Musey, New Albany, Noblesville, Portage, Richmond, South Bend, Terre Haute. Okay, so with that, let me try to pull it back some. That was about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, about 25 counties. Now I'm just going to randomly pick one and like not like the popular one, right? So look, this is Kokomo, Indiana. The population is of seniors is 16%. 36% of those seniors live alone, right? 23% of those seniors are veterans. That's good because you guys know, one of the individuals on my team, she is a medical biller and she's a Medicaid and a VA credentialing specialist. So we're always looking for areas where there's high veterans, right? Because one of my mentees in Louisiana, she's doing really well. She only does Medicaid and VA clients, and she does a easy like $825K a year with a very few amount of clients. Okay, so then we're going to go over to Um, let me go down a little bit. Mm, okay, so this let me go over here first. Okay, so what does that percentage look like? 16%. So 65 to 74, that's about 3,600 people. 75 to 84, that's about 2,400 people. And then it's about 1,100 people um that's over 85, right? So let's say we do 36, 33 plus 2,403 plus 1,151. So I'm counting up about 7,180 people, right? But you guys know that how how I encourage you guys to calculate up stuff. All right. So look, here is saying that in this area, out of that 7,181, there's about 800 people, 812 people who have a fixed income of 60,000 to 100,000. Out of that, eight 7,807. So I'm going to minus 800 from that number of 7,100, right? So put it down to 6,387. Then here, a smaller number of individuals with fixed income of 100,000 or above, that's 361. So I'm going to minus now, I'm just going to do 360. So now it brings it to 6,027, right? Now, why did I do that? Okay, I'm going to do something even more bold. I'm going to minus, because the remaining group of people are, let's say, out of this number of 6,027, I'm just going to do somewhat like a math, not like a math, like a science fair project. You guys know how when you're doing a science fair project, you have like your hypothesis, and then you have the actual, which is your theory, and then you have your actual, your working of the information, and then you have your conclusion. So out of those 6,027, I'm going to minus 1,500 people, right? And why I'm doing that, remember, this is just one city out of those 25 cities. Reason why I'm doing that is I'm trying to get to a realistic number of, and this is cool. This is like 4,500, right? 4,500 people that could potentially need your services. And the reason why I minus 1,500 people is because I'm going to assume that at least 1,500 people, they don't need you, right? In so many words, they don't need you. Why they may not need you? Let's say, we have some seniors that are, they're active, they're pretty healthy, and they honestly do not need home care. Then we have some other seniors who their family is taking care of them. So that's why I thought it's fair to minus at least 1,500. Sometimes I'm even more conservative. I might do 20 or 30% of the number, right? So someone asked on TikTok, can we market if we're not licensed? Oh no, she said, can we market if we're not licensed? No, you can't. You can't market if you're not licensed. that goes back to you're in a regulated state. And if you market, if you're not licensed, even if it's only private pay, you can get in trouble because you are supposed to be licensed according to your state. Okay, so I thought your question was different. So out of those 4,500 people, that's your market, right? And you already saw from me showing you the PSA directory that there are not a lot of home care agencies in a lot of these counties, right? So it's not a lot of home care agencies, a lot of these counties. Did I mean to send the live request? No, I did. Did I send a live request? I apologize. So there are not a lot of agencies in these counties. So the chances of you home care CEOs getting at least 15 clients out of this 4,500 is very high. It's very high. And if you guys didn't see my live on, as one of my mentees said, the magic number is 15. The magic number is 15 to 21 if you want to make your first million in your home care business. 15 to 21. 15 if you have a 12-hour day or you're doing 7 days a week. 21 if you're Monday through Friday and it's just an 8-hour day. And we know we get different variables of the kind of clients that want our services. But with that being said, very, very possible for you to get 15 clients, and that's one city. Now you duplicate that to the next city. And let's say you get up to, I want to use the 21 number. You got, you get anywhere from 15 to 21 clients within about 3 counties that's surrounding you. 3 counties, maybe 3 counties, 5 main cities that you just aggressively market, right? You can easily be at 5 mil because you generated enough to get your first million, and then you just duplicate success to get to your next one. So when people ask me, well, how did you do it? Because people have seen me talk about healthcare government contracts. I've done them at the state level, the local level. People have seen, they know I had a pediatric niche. People know that I did skilled home care. They're trying to figure out, well, how did you do it? I did, as they say, the math was mathing, right? And so I use the information to my advantage, and then I just made sure I hit the number. So you can hit the number, and in this state, the licensing process is relatively easy. Licensing process is relatively easy. So now all you need to do is, if you're in this state, is consider getting started. I even have some people who are in a surrounding state. Maybe they want to expand. This is a good state to consider expanding, because they have good Medicaid programs, and depending on where you're setting up shop, they also have low competition. Do you guys have any questions for me? I want to make sure that I'm going to be starting to wrap this up. Okay, so in conclusion, how to start a home care agency in Indiana. We went over the licensing process. I just get in. Okay, I just went over the licensing process, just went over how to submit your application with your policies and procedure requirements, some do's and some don'ts, right? And then I just went over some areas and some ways that you can be very, very successful if you learn to target. Now, remember, you're going to have to do some kind of marketing. Um, I guess it's going to end. I guess TikTok doesn't let you stay on but so long. Okay, almost. I'm going to end. It's about to cut me off. You're going to have to do some kind of marketing, of course, to get your brand out there and to generate business. But once you get into a rhythm, then once you get into a rhythm, you get your first 7 figures, and then you just duplicate success. This is that's my advice to you. That's my strategy. I tried to show you guys everything, didn't hold back, showed you the detail. Oh, let me show you one last thing. Well, let me just tell you one last thing, because this will help. Oh, this will help you. Help you. If you have any questions before, thank you so much for the hearts. Thank you so much for the hearts. It definitely helps my page. Thank you so much for the hearts. Definitely helps my page. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys, if you wanted to only do private pay, right? What is the going cost? People always ask me that. The going cost for private pay right now is about $26 an hour. $26 an hour is higher in some parts of the state, like in Elkhart, Indiana area, is at $32 an hour. In Fort Wayne is at $29 an hour. In Lafayette is at $28 an hour. In Kokomo, where we just went over, it's a little bit lower. It's at $25.40 an hour. And Musey, it's at $24.40 an hour. Terry Hot, same. It's about $24 an hour. Indianapolis area, $28 an hour. Bloomington, Indiana, $28 an hour. Columbus, $25 an hour. And Evansville, $23 an hour. And if you're wondering, like, why did the amount jump? This information is based upon 2 factors. This is AARP reporting it. This is also people who have long-term care insurance. You guys ever heard of long-term care insurance? What they're saying is that people in those areas that I called out, and only those areas, have long-term care insurance, right? And that's what the policies are paying out. So the long-term care, we like to compare that to private pay, because a lot of times they reimburse the client for your services. And that's how we're able to gauge what's the going rate at this time. Question on YouTube. I did address this before, but I want to go back over it. She talks too much. Cute name. Asks, do I know how long it takes to get licensed in Indianapolis, Indiana? It is not based upon your city. The state is taking about 4 to 6 months to process. And we spoke with them, like literally, when I said we spoke to them, guys, we literally spoke to a live person. And I know it's hard for you guys to get them on the phone, but we're able to get them on the phone. And they said that they were backlogged. It usually takes, you know, it usually takes them like 3 to 4 months, but right now it's taking them 4 to 6 months. You said you would red ball this as I'm in Indianapolis waiting on your license this week. Okay, how long ago did you? Thank you for this information. You came out. Yeah. How long ago did you submit your application? Hey, you missed the majority of this live and you're in Indiana now. How do I watch the full thing? Okay, great question, because we did go into detail because the live will be ending soon. So what I'm going to do is post the live. If you follow me, I'm going to post the information from the live on our online portal, right? So I've gone over several states: Illinois, Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, blah, 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 right? So what I do is you have the live video, but what you also get in the portal are like this checklist I'm going over, a link to how I did the research, for the top cities. Then you're going to have the application, because sometimes you guys were looking for the application and maybe you don't have the correct one. A lot of people appreciated that I did that when I did Pennsylvania, right? And then also for Maryland, because they were like, oh, I must have the old application. And I'm like, you do, because now the application is online. And then the regulations, like we didn't even get a chance to like really go over the regulations. Because my mentee, when I worked with her, she advised me to, learn, go over the regulations. I want to make sure that you guys have a copy of that, so you can have a full understanding, because the state is clearly saying over and over, right? And sorry that my screen is back. They were like, we want things clear to the code, right? So this is the code for the personal service agency. And if you're going to be a owner operator, take the time. These are only 9 pages. Like literally, there are states where this is much longer. So when I say that I feel like this state is very easy, that I would definitely be going over this. I didn't have enough time to go over the evaluation and training section. That will definitely help you when it comes to, how you're going to screen your caregivers. But it's only 9 pages. So we're going to include that in there as well. Oh, wow. You just literally submitted your application. I'm sorry we didn't do this earlier, but yeah. So you're more than welcome. So give us until at least tomorrow afternoon to post that. You go on, because it's on our portal, they will make you pay something. Usually it's going to be like $1 or $2. It's almost like giving me a tip. I don't even drink coffee at Starbucks anymore, but it's like, I used to say it's less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks. I make my own coffee now because it tastes better. But but it will ask you to put something in there. And then that's also how you guys get on my email list. So I appreciate you guys for watching, and I won't I won't go long. We do have just two things, is housekeeping. If you are an existing home care, why do I drink off Starbucks? I said I don't drink Starbucks anymore, but I like coffee, for lack of a better word. Thank you so much for the hearts. I really appreciate that. That's really helped me with doing my broadcast, with my broadcast, or my training today, my live training today. We are going to have another. Let me do my housekeeping real quick. We are going to have a live training tomorrow. I'm going to go through as much as I can on navigating through Medicare Advantage. I know a lot of you have asked me, like, how does this pretty much work? I'm going to do that. So just like tonight, free training. Tomorrow will pretty much be a free training. That one might have to be in the afternoon, actually, because I have my kids have swim class. Then we have a paid training that is a master class on this coming Saturday. I'm really, 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 really excited about, because it's how to develop your signature lunch and learn. You guys know lunch and learns are like a key way for you to like boost your business sales, basically get more referrals, get more business, get more people talking about your business. And it's one of the essential traditional marketing presentations that we need to do. So we're going to be doing that, and we're going to do it on a Saturday, because I didn't want you guys to feel rushed on an evening. So that's this Saturday. If you want to register for that training before the price goes up, click the link in my bio. Again, you're going to be coming back to my bio to get information on how to start a home care business in Indiana with all of the forms and links. And then lastly, if you need assistance with starting a home care business, and just because we're in Indiana, I'm going to stick with Indiana. We have a upcoming 60-day boot camp. And with that boot camp, you will be able to develop your policies and procedures and get additional training for licensing, right? How you're going to get licensed in your state, including your policies and procedures. We also give you an employee handbook. We teach you how to market your business, and of course, how to get approved the first time. And if you're interested in that, please send me a DM or go to my website and send me an email. And this has been Savvy Business Chick, and good night. All right, guys, good night. I'm saying good night to you last, making sure I didn't miss anything. They're currently working on applications September. No, yep. Thank you so much, Janelle. Like I said, I spoke with her on last, like 3 weeks ago. And initially she told me 4 to 5 months. And then she said no more than 6 months. So that's why I said 4 to 6 months, if that makes any sense. But there's plenty of things you can do while you are waiting for your application to be approved. It's a good time to get some of your business operation things together. It's a good time to start doing your market research. And if you're still working, it's a good time to start, building a reserve for your payroll. Yep. Medicaid waiver always takes months. Yep. But you can start getting the information now. Well, and also while we're always waiting on Medicaid waiver, we should be, investigating, like I said, doing a market research for our for private pay. Okay, guys, have a good night. You're more than welcome.